Aalia was my first child, and she was a girl, and parenting does not come with a manual, and there is no how to operate button that comes or a pause and a mute. Everything is organic. You're learning as a parent as you go along. It's been a lot of trial and error, but yes, as a mother, I have been very protective because during the course of my life, been let very, very free, where I had absolutely no restrictions in my life. I could come home at 6 a.m. My mom would just say, "How was your evening, darling?" And she wouldn't even ask. She never ever grilled me about who I was going out with. She never ever told me what I should wear, what I could not wear, etc. So it was a very different way that I was brought up, completely unstructured, zero boundaries whatsoever. And I went to my mother one day and I said, "This is just ridiculous. This is not on." And she said, "What is not on?" And I said, "This is absurd. I mean, all my friends have deadlines, get home by 12, and then they start panicking. And their mother tells them what to wear, what not to wear. They're very particular who are you going out with. They take the numbers of those people and the parents' numbers. And you have to be more concerned and you have to care." And so she looked at me and said, "Hang on a second. Are you telling me that you want me to tell you what to wear, what time to come home, who to go out with, who to not go out with?" I said, "Yeah, because that's called caring. You have to be this kind of mother." And then she looked at me and said, "Well, okay, let's get into role playing. So if you want me to be this kind of mother, then you have to be my ideal kind of daughter. So I want you to do that dance classes. I want you to put oil in your hair. I want you to press my feet when you come home at night because I'm so tired with all my dancing, darling." And I said, "Mom, that's ridiculous." She said, "Well, it's ridiculous what you're asking me to do." So in a sense, I grew up completely like a wild child who had to create my own sense of boundaries. In the sense, I never ended up smoking. I never ended up doing drugs because I was so concerned for myself because there was nobody else to be concerned for me. You know, my friends were smoking. I'd sit down and just be a part of the group, but I wouldn't touch it. So in the sense, people that had no freedom ended up doing a lot more than somebody who had all the freedom in the world did. Coming back to Aalia, having seen the world out there, what is a possibility, I have been very protective about my children, also because I'm a single parent, also because times have changed. I came from an era where you could just walk down a street at like 4 in the morning, completely, carefree. Nowadays, there's a lot of security issues, a lot of crime that's rapidly growing in our country. So yes, as far as Aalia goes, I have always made sure that there's a current driver, a trusted driver. When they were much younger, the nanny Bedi would accompany them wherever they went. It was just a rule. So yes, I have been very protective about both Aalia and Omar, but she will naturally tell you that I was a lot more relaxed with Omar. But that's not because he was a boy, but that's because I've got more relaxed as a parent. I think she grumbles about the fact that she got a mobile phone much later. He got a mobile phone.
Rights. No, 1 second. I fought for my rights, and because I fought for my rights and I got my rights, she couldn't deny Omar the same rights. The fact is, I would have got those rights much later on if I wouldn't have fought for them. So if I wouldn't have fought for them, I would have got them at like 15 instead of 13, and Omar would have got them at 15 instead of 13, except he gets it at 13 without having to do anything for it, which bothers me. And like, for example, there's this rule where I'm supposed to WhatsApp her every half an hour after 12 telling her I'm alive.
So, I didn't say that you're alive. I just
basically that I'm okay.
So there's a difference.
So to mock it, I keep saying I'm alive, and I send her messages just basically saying I'm alive.
Every half an hour, that's fine.
That's fine, and I do it.
Thank you.
But with Omar, he doesn't do it and she doesn't notice. Now, tomorrow I'll be like, Omar didn't do it. She's like, Omar, you didn't? But fact is, if I didn't do it, she would have known I didn't do it. For Omar to say, oh, you didn't, you should. And then he doesn't, and then she doesn't care.
Aalia, did you WhatsApp me last night, every minute after 12?
Last night I was in Ambivali.
Yeah. So did you?
That doesn't count. I was in Ambivali, and even when I go out, don't twist your rules.
Even otherwise, when you go out, there's so many times that I've told you, Aalia, you have not messaged me.
That was twice in the middle because I was irritated that you didn't.
No, that's not because of that. It's just because you didn't.
Yes, it was.
Omar hadn't gone out at that point of time. So let's get very clear. No, where did he go out? He had been out
anywhere. Not the same night, but he had right before that.
No, he had not gone out. He had not been
yes,
out.
Mama.
When has he gone out, Aalia, recently?
He goes out so many times. He goes
when
out all the time.
I have the whole driver's hesab. He has not gone out recently. In the last 2 months. Where has he gone out late at night?
He's gone out so many times. What are you talking about? Look at the hesab. I don't sit and record Omar's details. I know he comes back late.
I have an overtime list. The driver gives me overtime. What
oh my
God. Went out, what
if
time
you're gonna lie, then it's a different. If you're gonna lie, then
one
go on a
we
different
can call
tangent.
Omar right now. Omar can also clarify. Attack is not the best form of defense, Aalia. Not all the time.
Oh, you're lying.
So
don't lie.
I'm not lying. I'm just
don't
saying.
lie to make up facts.
Let's go back to the issue at hand. Okay. Yes, with Aalia, I have been a little more protective. She is My first child, yes, she is a girl child. Yes, she's a very pretty girl child. Yes, she gets a lot of attention. And naturally, I would be protective about her. It would be abnormal for me not to be protective about my daughter. My son is much taller. He is much stronger built.
He got a growth spurt in the last 1 year. So he really wasn't strong built or tall until last year.
And until then he was monitored by Bedi. Okay,
except his monitoring stopped and my monitoring stopped. My monitoring also stopped 3 years later than his monitoring stopped.
Because I realized it's okay. I also learned as a parent, Aalia, that
all
it's okay to be worried. It's not okay to be paranoid.
All I'm saying is that Omar got it far easier than I did.
Okay, he also got it Pfizer not because he's a boy, but because he's my second child.
For rickshaws, Omar is out traveling rickshaw before I was.
No. You used to fight for auto rickshaw.
I still remember one day Omar had to go to his friend's place, and normally I'm not allowed to go out if I don't have the car and driver. So no matter how badly I want to go to the car driver or nothing, I can't go. I said I can just take a rickshaw. No. It was a firm no. No matter what I said, how logical my explanation was, it was broad daylight. No. Omar, 1 second. Omar had to go out once. Okay? Once the driver was there, Omar goes, Mom, I need to go out, something, can I go? Something happens and they have something, and next thing I know, I'm like, oh, where's Omar? Oh, he's gone out. How did he go? Oh, he went by rickshaw. So, okay. 1 second. I have not been allowed to go by a rickshaw. And Omar has just gone by a rickshaw, and that's when I said, no, that's it, I'm going by a rickshaw too, and I left with a rickshaw.
Also because at that particular point of time, if people remember, there was an actor whose daughter had got kidnapped in broad daylight in an auto rickshaw in Lokhandwala, taken to Mud Island and raped. Okay, it was in the news at that point of time, and I was worried. When something like that makes the news and it impacts you, and you think about it, and it really jerks you to being even more responsible, perhaps the word is even more paranoid.
So all I'm saying is was related to Omar being a boy and me being a girl. No, that's the point I was trying to prove. You just proved my point by that example.
Grab Omar and put him into auto rickshaw and rape him, but they will do that to girls.
So that's what I'm saying. So all I'm saying is that it is the fact that I'm a girl. That's the only point I have to prove. But you are proving my point. Every word that's coming out of your mouth is reinforcing my point.
Yes, in that particular incident, yes, it has to do with the fact that yes, you're a girl and
so
yes,
I'm
being a little
but it's not about gender. It's not about the fact that you're a girl and he's a boy. It is
99% of the time, it is about the fact that you all are both my kids and I'm equally protective of both. And in maybe a couple of instances, yes, there have been a time where because you're a girl, I've been a little extra cautious, and I don't think there's anything wrong in that at all. It is better to be safe than it is to be sorry.
The wrong statistic, 99%. Where did you get the statistic? Where did you get the statistic?
Because if you see the number of times, Aalia, we're just talking general. You can just get on my case for the sake of getting on my case. The fact is, as a parent, I'm telling you that I'm
like
concerned.
65%. At least if you're making up random figures, then at least make it about the same.
I'm sorry. You dramatized it in your head. It is not that way. It is a couple of instances where yes, I have given Omar slightly more leeway in certain cases and at certain times.
Okay,
and let's not. Yeah, exactly. So let's not. Please give me respect for the fact that I'm concerned as a parent and as a right to be concerned. And every parent out there should be. I'm just saying. Every parent out there has the right to be concerned for their child, to be protective about their child, and
so
yes,
I'm not saying don't. I'm just saying be equally concerned about both.
I am equally concerned about both, and in certain cases, the girl does require slightly more attention than the boy in certain cases.
All I'm saying, so actually,
and that's not wrong.
That's what I'm saying. So all I'm saying is don't say. So all I'm saying is don't say that it's not because it's a boy and a girl. It's because Omar's a boy and a girl.
No, two things. One is that your upbringing has been equal for both, and in certain cases, I've been extra cautious about your safety
so
because you are a girl.
That's my point. Finish. Over. Done.
In certain cases, yes. So what's the big deal? What's the big deal?
There's no big deal. I'm just saying
you're alive.
No.
You're alive.
Opening sentence. The opening sentence of her first point, second point, third point, fourth point was it's not because it's a boy or a girl. Now the thing is, yeah. So what if it's a boy and a girl?
No, it's not.
Yeah, oh my God! Now she changed it again. Make up your mind.
Changed it. I said it's about equality for both, and I said in certain instances, which are a couple of instances in these 17 years.
Are you going to say again? Oh, but it's not about the boy and the girl. And they will say, oh, but so what if it's about the boy and the girl? That's literally the dialogue she uses. It's not if it's because he's a boy and she's a girl. And the end is like, so what if it's about the fact that he's a boy and she's a girl? Make up your mind.
I have not said that. You are creating words for me. I very clearly categorically stated that over 17 years, there have been just a couple of incidents, maybe a handful of incidents where I have been a little extra protective about you because you're a girl. And and it is rightfully so, Aalia, because what, you think it's more than a handful of incidents?
Much more.
Well, then I'm a very protective mother. What can I say? Full stop.
Okay, sorry.